Alright guys, welcome back. Saw this floating around Twitter the other day and wanted to make an update video for you guys if you remember this incident happening in our community. If you were watching YouTube and video games about a year ago this time, then you might remember this happening, but if not, I will give you a quick refresher on what happened. Some guy lost a Call of Duty match and he was talking shit back and forth with his opponent. There were several threats and exchanges made, and it ultimately turned into a classic case of "come to my house, bro, here's my address." Only when the guy gave his address, he didn't give his actual address. What he did was give an address that was like down the street from him. So it seemed like it could be real because the guy knew what city he lived in and all, but it wasn't his actual house. So then dickhead number 2 enlists his friend to perform a swatting on that address. Now, if you guys are not familiar with what swatting is when you call the police and give them some big extravagant reason to show up at a house, like pretend a murder is taking place or pretend that a hostage situation is taking place or something really drastic like that, so that the police and SWAT team will raid the house at said address. So in this situation, this asshole, the swatter, whose name I'm not going to use because I don't believe that you should use people's names that do shit like this because it gives them some sort of infamy, so we're not going to use his name, we're not going to show his picture or anything like that. But what he did was call that local police department and made up some story about how he had killed his father and he was holding other family members hostage and then he was going to kill one of them or kill himself or something like that. You know, I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something along those lines. It was something really bad that made the police really gear up and get ready to respond to this horrible incident that they believed was happening. So the cops arrived to the house, but of course it's the wrong house because dickhead number 2 gave the wrong address initially, and the guy who lives at the house, a 28-year-old father of 2, comes outside to see all the commotion and has guns pointed on him. I don't know what he did, if he reached down to pull his pants up because he was allegedly wearing pajama pants, so he was going to pull them up, but point in case, the cops ended up shooting and killing this innocent guy. It's a really messed up situation because this guy was just minding his own business. He was an innocent guy, had nothing to do with these two dickheads or this asshole swatter, you know, just minding his own business, and he ends up losing his life in an instant. He probably didn't even know what happened. And now his wife and his kids have to grow up without a father and a dad because of a Call of Duty prank gone wrong, man. It's so It's so disgusting. It really is. Swatting is one of those things where, you know, it's kind of been funny in the past. It's been around for a couple of years now, and it's not as big as it used to be as far as I know. Like, when it first started happening, like, you know, a couple of years ago, maybe like 10-ish years ago or so, maybe a little less than that, it was kind of funny, right? Like, people would do it to people who were streaming on Twitch and stuff so that they could see the SWAT teams raiding the house while the streamer was live. And it's one of those really delicate, difficult situations where you know it's really dangerous. Like, you know someone could end up getting killed if they make the wrong move in this, but this just kind of became a gaming like culture phenomenon thing. I don't know, it just became a thing for whatever reason. So it's almost like this has just been a ticking time bomb, and something really bad was bound to happen eventually, and it finally did for this poor guy who lost his life. And then of course there was a lot of debate going on about who's at fault, you know? Is the guy who gave the wrong address at fault? Is the swatter at fault? Are the police at fault? Did the police shoot too soon? There's really so many arguments to be made, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that most people could agree on the guy that actually called the SWAT team is probably the most at fault. So that was last year in December, and this case has been kind of quiet for a while. No one's really heard about it, but I did see an article the other day, and it said that the swatter is going to be pleading guilty to 51 federal charges, because this wasn't the only time that he's done this. He's had a whole history of doing this. He's done it dozens of times. So I don't know why he never really got in trouble before, but that's besides the point, I guess. That's a whole different story. Anyway, pleading guilty to 51 federal charges, and he's going to receive a sentence between 20 and 25 years in prison. Now, don't get me wrong, man. I think this is great. This is a start, and some type of justice is being served, but if you ask me, it's not enough. This guy got someone killed, man. Took him away from his family, took him away from his kids, ended his life tragically short. I mean, yeah, lock the guy up, but 20 to 25 years, I just feel like that's so light. He's responsible for so much wrongdoing, and honestly, I really think they should make an example out of this guy, because this guy has done something that people have known is bad for a really long time. Like, swatting is one of the most dangerous, messed up things that you could do to someone. And that goes for anyone, too. It's not even just people in this little, you know, video game world that we have here. Like, This is serious stuff. It's prank calling, it's making false statements to police, it's wasting police resources, it's getting yourself in trouble and putting other people's lives in danger, and in this guy got an innocent man killed. So I really feel like as much as this guy just deserves to get taken out back and get shot, unfortunately we have to treat him like somewhat of a human being because we're really nice to criminals here in the United States for some reason. But this guy should get the death sentence or just get life in prison, no possibility of parole, because an example needs to be set, and this is the first time that one of these incidents has actually turned fatal. So if you let someone get away with it once, what's gonna stop people from thinking that they can too get away with it another time? We gotta put the kibosh on this shit immediately, man, because it's not funny. It's really, really serious. Oh, and for those of you wondering, no, the cop did not get in any trouble. He did not get charges pressed against him because in their investigation of what happened, they thought the officer acted rightly since they thought that they were dealing with a hostage situation. So that pretty much wraps up the video, guys. Want to get your opinions down below. Who do you think is at fault? Do you think this punishment is appropriate? Again, I think it's a start, but I really think that something like this should be way more heavily punished because now that the infamous swatting prank has turned deadly and taken this wrong turn, we should do anything in our power to ever prevent it from happening again. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter, link is down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.